Dear students, today we'll see what do we mean by superposition theorem, which is under network theorem topic in communication systems. So let's start with the first theorem of the network theorem, which is called as superposition theorem. Now in this, before giving the statement for superposition theorem, these statements for theorems are applied for a linear network, for a bilateral network. So before going to the actual statement, we will see what do we mean by linear network and what do we mean by bilateral. So let's start today's topic, superposition theorem, and then first we will see what do we mean by linear net. A linear network is a network where the parameters of a capacitance, inductance and resistance remain constant with regard to voltage or current. Moreover, the current or voltage of its sources is directly proportional. This is very important. The current or voltage of its sources is directly proportional to or independent of other currents and voltages or their derivatives within the network. So if these conditions are there, then it is a linear network. Then what do you mean by bilateral network? A bilateral network is a circuit or network in which the magnitude of the current remains the same even in the presence of a reversed voltage polarity. So even if the voltage polarity is reversed, the magnitude of the current will remain same. Then that network is called as bilateral network. Then we'll go to the actual statement of superposition theorem. So here, superposition theorem states that in any linear active bilateral network, so we know the meaning of linear and bilateral now. Linear active bilateral network having more than one source. So your sources can be your voltage source, current source. Okay. If the circuit is having more than one source, the response across any element in that circuit, the response across any branch of that network is the sum of the responses obtained from each source considered separately, and all other sources are replaced by the internal resistance. So this is what your superposition theorem is saying. Now here we can take one example. Say if we are having a circuit like this. So here you can see a circuit. You can have a voltage source here. Say this is a voltage source, and then we'll have a resistance here. We will have a resistance here, then again we'll have a resistance here, and then here we'll have a current source. This is your voltage source, plus minus. This is current source I, this is resistance R1, this is R2, and this is R3. Okay, now here if I want to find specifically what is the current flowing through R3, so this current I want this current. So this current I, which is flowing through R3, then according to superposition theorem, it says that the current which flows in this branch because of one source, say for example we take the voltage source first and we eliminate the current source, this source will not take. So because of voltage source, what is the current flowing? And then we will eliminate the voltage source and we will consider the current source, and because of current source, what is the current flowing? If you add those two values, then you will get the actual current which is flowing in the main circuit because of the two sources. This is what superposition theorem says. Now this can be more clearer to you if we go through the steps, and we'll take one simple example. So here are the steps of a procedure of superposition theorem. How do we minimize the circuit? And after minimizing the circuit, how do we see what particular magnitude of a current or voltage is at a particular element, across a particular element, because of different sources. And then we go to add all those things to get the actual current or voltage in that branch. So then here you can follow some steps. So these steps are as follows. Step number 1, Find the response in a particular branch by considering one independent source and eliminating the remaining independent sources present in the network. So if the network is having many sources, then you consider one source and then find the effect of that source on whatever element you want to, whether you are going to see the current through that element or whether you want to see the voltage across that element. You can find because of one source, then you eliminate that first source, you activate the second source and find the same effect on that particular element. Then you activate the third source, you eliminate the first two sources and see the effect. And these steps will go on till all the sources get their chance, till all the independent sources work alone. And then whatever answers you get for independent sources alone working, those answers, if you add, then you will get the actual current through that element or voltage across that element because of all the sources. This is what superposition theorem says. Then we will take one example here, a very simple example. So here, or determine, we'll take one example, determine voltage V across the resistance as shown in the circuit below. So voltage V for the network shown below. Okay. Now using superposition theorem we have to do this. So we will first see how the simple network looks like. Then the simple network looks like this. Say this is your resistance R, okay, which is 15 ohms, and then here across this we are going to have a voltage V which we have to find out, and this resistance is activated by a current source. So this is a current source I which is of 2 amperes, and there is also one more source which is a voltage source. See, this is voltage source, let's name this as E, and this is of 40 volts plus minus. Okay, now this is a circuit. Now we want to find out the voltage across R. We want to find out this voltage across R. Now what we have to do according to superposition theorem is you take one source at one time and see what is the voltage across R, and then you take another source and see what is the voltage across R, and then the individual answers whatever you get, you sum them up, then you will get the effect of both the sources to find the actual voltage across R. Then we will first have step 1. So step 1, to solve this according to superposition theorem, we will make E is equal to 0, that is voltage source is equal to 0, and according to the procedure, when you are going to make voltage source is equal to 0, it should be short circuit. Okay, and then consider the network. If you make the voltage source 0, then the network will become like this. You can have a current source here, okay, and then here you are having resistance, and then voltage source is 0, so it is a short circuit, so we'll just short it up. So here you can see this was your voltage source, and now you are going to short it. Now here you have R is equal to 15 ohms, and across this you are going to have a voltage. Let us name this voltage because of the current source as V1, and this current source I is equal to 2 ampere. Okay, now here if you see the voltage V1 because of the current source, voltage V1 is given as I multiplied by R. Okay, so this current multiplied by the resistance will give the voltage drop across resistance. So this is nothing but 2 amperes multiplied by 15 ohms. This is nothing but 30 volt. So V1, that is voltage across the resistance because of the current source, is V1, that is 30 volt. Okay, then we will take step 2. In step 2, what we will do? In step 2, we will take the current source as 0. So step 2 will take current source as 0, and we know that according to the procedure, when we want to make current source 0, it should be open circuit. It should be open circuit. Then how does the circuit look? The circuit will look like this. This will be the resistance. Then we are considering the voltage source. So voltage source will be here. And current source, according to our procedure, will be open here. It will be open. So this is your R, and you have to find out now what is V2. Okay, this is R, which is 15 ohms. This is plus minus E, which is equal to 40 volts. Now in this case, if you want to find out V2, now V2 will be nothing but the current which is flowing through this multiplied by the resistance of 15 ohms. Now because this is open circuit, the current which is flowing will be 0. So here V2 will be given as the current which is flowing I into R, and I is 0 because it is open circuit, multiplied by 15 ohms, which is nothing but 0 volt. Now the actual voltage across the resistance, because of current source and voltage source together, will be given as, we can have step 3, the actual voltage because of a current source and also voltage source across the resistance R. Okay, so R, which is equal to V. Okay, this is because of this plus minus 40 volt and this ampere of 2 amperes. So of the original circuit, the voltage V will be given as a sum of V1 plus V2. So here we know that V1 we got in the earlier case as 30 volt, and V2 in this case we got as 0 volt. So is equal to 30 volt. So the voltage across the resistance R, because of current source and voltage source, will be equal to 30 volt. This is what superposition theorem has made you to solve the circuit. Okay, so this is how the superposition theorem works. Now we will go to see one more example which will have little more branches. So what example we saw now was a very easy one. Then we'll go to see one more example. Find the current flowing through 20 ohm resistor of the following circuit using superposition theorem. Now here this is a circuit. This is a voltage source. This is voltage source of a 20 volt, and here you are having a current source of 4 amperes, and this is the circuit where there is a resistance of 5 ohms here, 10 ohms here, 10 ohms here, and 20 ohms here. So according to the example, we have to find out the current flowing through 20 ohm resistor. That is, through this, how much is the current flowing. Now we know that if we apply superposition theorem, then we have to first find out the current because of one source, and then we have to find out the current because of another source, and then we have to add both the currents to get the original current. That means now here in this circuit there are two sources, one is voltage source and one is a current source. So first we will eliminate the voltage source and we will short this, and only because of a current source we will find the current flowing through a 20 ohm, and we will name that current as I1. And then in the next step what we will do is we will open up this current source and we will put this voltage source, and because of this voltage source what will be the current flowing, that we will take it as I2, and then when we add I1 and I2 we will get I. So this is what the steps we are going to follow to solve this example. Then let's have the step 1. So step 1, let us find the current flowing through 20 ohm resistor by considering only the voltage source of 20 volt. In this case we can eliminate the 4 ampere current source by making open circuit of it. The modified circuit diagram looks like this. So here we don't have any current source here. So here you can see there is no current source. It is open here. And now we have this 20 ohm resistor, 10 ohm resistor, 10 ohm resistor, 5 ohm resistor, and this voltage source. This is the voltage source, and we have to find out what is the current flowing here. So current flowing in this loop, okay, that we have to find out, and this current is because of the voltage source of 20 volt. Now let's start with that. There is only one principal node except the ground in the circuit, so we can use nodal analysis method. The node analysis says that at this point we have voltage V1 is labeled. Here V1 is the voltage from node 1 with respect to ground. So we will take this voltage V1 so that afterwards we can have these voltages, two voltages upon this resistance which will give the current, then this voltage upon this resistance which will give the current, then this voltage upon the combined resistance here which will give the current, and all these currents we are going to add. So let's start with that. The nodal equation is node 1, we can have V1 minus 20. So if you see the circuit here, V1, this is V1 minus 20 upon 5 will give the a current in this loop. So the current in this loop will be V1 minus 20 upon 5. So here we can have the first equation, V1 minus 20 upon 5, that is the current in the first loop. Then if you see this V1 upon 10 ohms, so here if you see V1 upon 10 ohms, V1 here, and this is the 10 ohms, then you will get the current which is flowing here. Then we can have V1 upon 10 ohms plus, in the last loop we can have V1 upon 10 plus 20, that will equate to 0 for that particular node. If you solve this, you will get 6V1 minus 120 plus 3V1 plus V1 upon 30 is equal to 0. 10V1 is equal to 120 and V1 is equal to 12 volts. So V1 is equal to 12 volts will be the first equation what we get. Then a current flowing through 20 ohm resistor can be found by doing the following simplification. I1, that is the current because of the voltage source, is given as V1 upon 10 plus 20 ohms. So here you can see V1, so here V1 upon 10 plus 20 ohms. So here you can take this as V1 and this is the resistance, and this current, if you want, it is V1 upon 10 plus 20 ohms. So that is what we are going to see here. So that is I1. Substituting the value of V1 in the equation, we get V1 we had got as 12 volt. Then we'll get I1 is equal to 12 upon 10 plus 20. So it is 12 upon 30. It is 0.4 ampere. Therefore, the current flowing through 20 ohm resistor is 0.4 ampere when only 20 volt voltage source is considered. So if you are considering only the voltage source, then the current flowing through that particular resistor, that is 20 ohm, is 0.4 ampere. Then we'll have step 2. Let us consider the current flowing through 20 ohm resistor by considering only the current source, and we will short the voltage source. So here you can see you are going to short the voltage source. So here the voltage source is short, and we are considering only the current source. In this case, we can eliminate the 20 volt voltage source by making it short. The modified circuit diagram is shown here. In the above circuit, there are 3 resistors to the left of the terminals of AB. So if this is the terminals A and B for the 20 ohm resistor, then there are 3 resistors here, 1, 2 and 3. Okay, we can replace this resistor with a single equivalent resistor. Hence 5 and 10 ohm resistor are connected in parallel and the entire combination is in series with 10 ohm. Then we can find out the equivalent resistance. So the equivalent resistance here will be 40 by 3 ohms. The simplified circuit will be like this. The equivalent resistance here, the terminals A, B, this is the resistor in which the current we have to find out, and this is the current source we are activating and seeing because of only this current source what is the current flowing. Now in that case, that current we will name it as I2. I2 will be equal to Is into R1 upon R1 plus R2. So here it will be Is. So Is will be the current which is flowing, source current multiplied. Okay. So here it is multiplied by R1 upon R1 plus R2. So here Substituting Is is equal to 4 ampere, R1 is equal to 40 by 3 ohms, and R2 is equal to 20 ohms, we get I2 as 1.6 ampere. So here you can see I2 you get as 1.6 ampere. Now this is the current flowing through 20 ohm resistor because of the current source. Now 1.6 ampere is the second value what we have got. Then step 3, we will add the first current because of voltage source and the second current because of the current source and get the actual current which will be flowing through 20 ohm resistor. So according to step 1 we got I1, according to step 2 we got I2, and now in step 3 we are going to add this. So I1 was 0.4 ampere, I2 was 1.6 ampere. If you add that it is 2 ampere. So the current flowing through 20 ohm resistor will be 2 ampere. This is the way superposition theorem is helping us to find a magnitude of a current flowing through a particular resistor in a given circuit. Okay. Thank you, students.